yeah, we can go up to our number 9. I believe we have the Memphis Mawwiles and Mawwiles himself and his team.
Yeah.
Um, so he I'm not going to spoil anything, but he already played his week 1 match. What do you guys think about Mawwiles' team here? The Zygarde 50 plus the Mega Mawwile.
I mean, I love it.
Yeah.
It's a pretty gross score.
Yeah, it puts a lot of pressure offensively for sure.
Just looking at that should have ensured him that he isn't low on the power rankings.
Exactly, yeah.
But this is A-League, so...
Yeah, and you have to look at the rest of his team, though, because
I noticed
Leafeon is his
some
grass type.
solid mons. I mean, Suicune, Crocodile, those aren't bad. Medallion's not bad, but I mean, Leafeon.
My main problem with this team is the sheer lack of bulk. That's not a water type.
Exactly.
Yeah, his Suicune and his Zygarde are pretty bulky, but outside of that, yeah.
He does have the Jellicent as well. We have to make note that he did make 2 transactions as well. I believe he made them after he played. So
What did he swap?
he swapped out Clefable for Entei and Togedemaru for Cobalion. So prior to that, he actually didn't have a fire type. So now he has the Entei. So it actually does make it look a little bit better.
I'm personally really not a fan of either of those moves.
Yeah, well, I'm a fan of him actually just completing his Fire, Water, Grass core. He didn't have the fire typing, so it's good to at least get it. So.
I don't know why he had. Okay, so he had Zygarde, Clefable, and Mega Mawile.
Yeah,
I don't understand why you would break up that core.
That's my big problem with him as well.
I don't know why either, but I mean he still has like the fairy typing and the steel typing with Mawile, so maybe that's where he was going. He also has the steel typing with Cobalion, so there's that. But obviously Clefable plus Mawile plus Zygarde is an amazing core.
Right. I get dropping the Togedemaru because that mon is not good, but
that mon is pretty niche in certain situations, but I don't think he needed it. It did make him lose the electric typing, but I don't know if he was really gaining much from the Togedemaru anyways. So
yeah.
Especially with having another weakness to ground, which he had with Mawile already. So I don't know. He kind of he made some transactions which I think he probably deemed necessary, or he thought that he was weaker to certain mods. Like I don't think he had the fighting typing as well, so he grabbed Cobalion. So definitely grabbing a fighting type is very necessary, but with him having Mega Mawile and Zygarde, I'm pretty sure he had the wall breaking capabilities anyways. But
right,
who knows?
Let's talk about all of his other wall breakers.
Yeah. Let's see. He has Entei now, which is very good at wall breaking, and I'm not going to spoil anything, but his kill leader right now is
Leafeon.
It's something you wouldn't expect to get that many kills, but I don't know, he can make things work. He does have some bulk there. I think he has like Suicune and Crobat can be very bulky. Crocodile can also be very bulky, especially with Intimidate. He actually has double Intimidate with Mawile pre-Mega and then Crocodile, so that's not too bad.
What I like about his team is that he doesn't have like a giant weakness to any particular thing. I mean, he has like 3 mons that are weak to fire and like 3 mons that are weak to ice, or 4 mons weak to ice, I should say. But other than that, like he doesn't have any like massive weakness to like a common type.
Yeah.
We tend to see a lot. We tend to have seen a lot of in the when ranking the lower end of the power rankings for the other leagues, including I guess A League so far, but that doesn't seem to be the case with this team.
I think he filled out his type cores pretty nicely so that he kind of covers everything. And he has hazards with Crook, he has him with Azelf, and now he has him with Cobalion, so that's not too bad. His only real hazard removal though is still the Crobat, which is pretty. I don't know how well that is honestly, but his team isn't weak to hazards for the most part. The Entei now is.
Toxic spikes.
T spikes, yeah. He does have two Mons that are off the ground and then 2 steel types. But you're right, he does have kind of a T spikes weakness there.
But like a spikes might even be worse because he doesn't really have much other than the Crobat.
The Crobat
and the Azel that really just say, "Oh no, sorry."
I will say he does have some great lead options with Crobat, Ambipom, and Azelf. Azelf itself is just a fantastic lead. You know, it leads with a sash and gets up rocks or taunt, and then it explodes. So, I do like that he has that. So, and then he has the. What's that?
People tend to forget too that Azel does more things than just that.
Right? I was about to say that as well, Swampy. It is an excellent sweeper as well.
It gets the nasty plot set. It gets a lot of coverage, and then it gets
role play.
Yeah,
that it does.
Especially with the
mad about it.
Open Z moves. So yeah, Zelf is a very nice. Personally, I've been meaning to draft it myself. It's very fast as well at 115. So if you look, at his speed tiers, what's Ambipom's speed? Is Ambipom 115 as well?
I think it's 115.
Okay, so
I don't remember.
I think it's 115. Yes.
Azelf and Ambipom are both 115, so they kind of overlap there. But at the same time, that's not the worst thing. Like I don't know if he always wants to bring Ambipom and Azelf to both to the same match, but it's nice to have. Like he has Cobalion, which is very fast. Entei's at 100. The Crobat's at 130. I don't actually know Leafeon's speed, but
it's
90.
Is it 90? Okay,
so
he has a lot of
95.
Oh, it's actually 95. Okay.
Wow, I didn't realize it was that fast.
It's actually it's base 110 attack, 130 defense, and base 95 speed. But the reason why it's bad is because base 65 HP and 65 speed down.
Yeah, that's it's probably unfortunate. It also doesn't get that much coverage, but I'm not going to spoil anything with what happened in his week 1 match. We saw that he actually can get coverage for certain things. So, otherwise though, I do notice that after, I think after Crocodile speed, after Suicune, it kind of drops to Jellicent. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it goes Crocodile and then and I think Jellicent's at 50 speed. So that's not like the best. The fact that his lower speed actually, I think this is the fastest team he's ever drafted, because normally I think Mawwiles always drafts teams that are like lower than base 100. So.
Well, I think last season he had like mega camera and stuff, right?
Did he? No, last season in A League he had.
He started with. Did he start with mega camera?
No, in season 2 he had Mega T-Tar and he had Sand Team. Last season
I definitely know he had Mega Gyarados last season.
Yeah, last season he had Mega Gyarados. That's what I remember too. So I don't know. It's sitting at a pretty decent ranking. It's sitting at number 9, and maybe his B tiers are kind of very fast, as opposed to what mine were, which is pretty slow. So who knows if we end up clashing, it could be interesting. Anyone else have anything on Mawwiles there?
I'll just say I think he has pretty solid Z users for the most part.
Cobalion, Azelf, Zygarde, even
the
Leafeon.
only thing that I would say that we haven't really addressed negatively yet is the Ambipom is very out of place.
The Ambipom.
I get it. He needed the normal type, I guess, but
it could be spent with removal or spinner elsewhere and be that kind of mon on the team and help out Crobat, so it doesn't have to be fat every single week.
That's a good point.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he could have used some more removal. Ambipom, it's not that he's out of place, but like you said, he could use more removal, and Azelf already hits that speed tier anyways. So
yeah.
Yeah, Azelf kind of does the same thing. It's just that Ambipom is a little bit stronger because of its abilities, and you know.
Right.
Yeah, who knows? I don't know. Again, I don't know if he's gonna end up bringing just both of them to the same match. If he does end up bringing them,
he might do that against the faster team.
Mm-hmm. Because they're both pretty frail, and again, they hit the same speed, and they kind of do the same. Like I see what Hunt is saying. Like it's not like he really needs the Ambipom at all. I'm not too sure what he could put in place of that, because it's not like he needs another typing on his team. Maybe an electric type could help, but other than that,
yeah.
Okay, well, that's our number 9 team. We have the Memphis Mawwiles. If we want, we can move up to the number 8 team on our power rankings. We have the Portland Timbers and Jaro's team. Let's take a look at why we have him at number 8 here. It looks like he has a pretty solid draft. He has the Mega Sceptile, Tapu Koko, and he also has a Alolan Raichu, which is a fantastic combination with Tapu Koko.
Yeah. I would say I used Mega Sceptile last season, and it was fun to use. It's frail. That's all frail can be. I think he drafted the right mons next to it, considering nobody's really going to want to click, electric move when he's got even with electric terrain up. If he's got a Mega Sceptile sitting there with Lightning Rod.
Yeah.
I think he covered that pretty well, and you also factor in he's got 2 ground types, and mons that just a bunch of mons that generally resist. But okay, so he has Skarmory for removal, but that's it.
I think
Volcanion. It gets
Volcanion gets Venomoth also gets the fog, but
and so does Tapu Koko, doesn't it?
Coco.
Oh yeah, Koko does get it. That's right.
But I see what you're saying. Like a lot of his physical threats get removal, and that's not exactly what you want to. Like you'd rather have coverage on mons like that. So, although defog Volcanion is also interesting. I've used it to like defog screens or veil away before, so that you could do that. But yeah, I see what you're saying. Like Skarmory might be put in that role every week to kind of defog. Granted though, it is a very nice defogger. It can basically always defog, and then just
Well,
roost up.
because he can easily do that and then run like rocks on Bama or something,
Yeah.
or Oopsie.
What's interesting is I'm not sure exactly why he needed the Golurk if he has sorry, if he has the Mamoswine.
I guess he just wanted.
He wanted
Because at the same time, he drafted, 2 electric types.
Oh,
and a
actually,
just...
I see the strat there now. And he's done this before last season, where he drafts Hazard Stack and then he drafts a Ghost type as well. It's a very nice combo if he's trying to spin block his opponent. So, but then again, that's only if your opponent has a spinner, right? So.
Right.
Now I'm not too sure if Golurk is the best spin blocker, but it can do that and it gets a lot of coverage. So it could have been a nice tier 5 for him to just pick up. Plus it also gets rocks, so I guess it is very nice. And he has the Volcanion, which is an amazing wall breaker. Other than that, though, his wall breakers, I don't know if I really see too much. Like Pangoro, I know can run Choice Bandit a lot. I actually think he ran. I don't want to spoil any sets, but I think he ran a very offensive Snorlax in his last match, which was really fun to see. I don't think I've ever seen a set like that before, but just because Snorlax is very nice for Gluttony and for Thick Fat and just Curse. So.
Right.
Yeah, but I think for the most part, Uxie and Skarmory are going to be his hazard setters, and they are very nice at setting up hazards. He also has T-Spikes with Venomoth if he wants to go that route. But I think he does have some nice hazard setters. And for him, I think it's more important for him to set up hazards than it is for him to kind of defog them away. Because besides the Volcanion, and I guess for the most part Venomoth, his team doesn't take too much from hazards. So.
Alright. Yeah, he has a couple of mons that kind of resist it, as well as a bunch of ones that are just neutral. The only one that really, the only 2 mons that just, that take a ton of damage from that would be like Canyon and mons, like you said. And I guess Raichu and Coco for like if he has like the type spikes on the field. But
now that I think about it, I was saying how Volcanion was his only wall breaker, but Mamoswine is sitting right there. I think Tapu Koko can also fit in that role as well as a wall breaker, just because electric terrain.
Yeah, and if he's running a Z move on it.
Z move for sure. Z Coco is always a big threat. So his Z move users, they might just be Volcanion, Coco, Raichu can as well. I think
he is kind of limited with his Z users. So.
Well,
there's always that pulverizing pancake.
The Snorlax, yeah, I was gonna say, but he also has the option.
I've always wanted to see that.
Yeah. But then it limits him to not having less stuff.
Yeah, the only problem with doing that is you're forced to run Giga Impact.
Yeah, you have to.
So, well, that could just be a certifiable nuke to something. After that, what's it doing?
Yeah. I do think Pangoro can be a nice Z-move user as well with that parting shot. So that could be another option there. What do you think of his speed tiers there?
Well, obviously you're not outspeeding Mega Style.
Yeah.
Like, there's only a few mons in the meta that can even touch his speed. So your best is realistically, I say like Coco. It goes Coco, then it goes like Raichu, I think, and then from there it really drops.
Yeah.
After that, though.
Because
Like,
Volcanion
it drops hard.
Mamoswine hits 80. Actually, Uxie is 95.
Okay, so it goes from base 110 to base 95, right?
Yeah, and then it goes to 80. So
90 with Venomoth.
oh yeah, Venomoth's the thing. Yeah, I keep forgetting. That's not too bad then.
So,
I think we're underestimating it, but a lot of the times like Uxie doesn't run max speed, but it can. And then you know, I don't know about Venomoth, but Volcanion.
Bad.
Venomoth can be power but like it needs so much support. Like it needs to be set up at like +2 as well to kind of
No,
just
it's just
win.
bad.
Yeah.
It's blind.
It has to hit a sleep powder. I don't know. I don't know, but he could just use it for T-spikes as well. It's not like the worst thing in the world. So
it's really not the worst thing in the world. I would like to see it drop to tier 5 because of my personal penchant against it, but
do we have it at tier 3 right now? I can't remember.
I believe so.
I feel like that is expensive as hell.
Yeah.
A tier 4 wouldn't be nearly as bad. But
Yeah.
tier 3?
But I do see the nice strategy with Jaro's team there being the Tapu Koko and Raichu. It's a very nice end game strategy, if not just a wall breaking strategy in the beginning. So, and then he has I'm pretty sure actually Sceptile. With him drafting it, it's the fastest Mon in A League. So I could be mistaken there, but I'm pretty sure it's the fastest Mon in A League right now.
145 speed, I think.
Yeah, because no one drafted Mega Zam and Mega Arrow.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. So, yeah, I think, it's the fastest Mon.
Yeah, so that's not too bad having the fastest Mon in your draft pool. Kind of.
What's nice about having it is with Mega Sceptile, a lot of times you don't have to run speed and you can opt for both. The only downside is there's not a lot of both to be had.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about this with Rin's team when we were talking about B League. You know, he can run the Swords Dance set if he wants to. He can surprise opponents with that. But otherwise, you know, the coverage might just be limited to his stabs, and then he is kind of frail, so he has to kind of watch out for priority as well.
Yep.
But it's a good thing he has the Mamoswine, so that's one less one he has to worry about getting ice sharded with. Okay, so if we don't have anything else to talk about Jaro's team, we can actually move up to Gene and his Ottawa Gengars. I believe he's still on call, but I don't know if
he is currently muted.
Yeah,
he did make one correction to what we had to say, that Mega Sceptile is in its own speed tier. There is a Selgor drafted that ties it.
Oh, there we go. So we do have Excelgor that can rival it, and it is a very nice counter as well. So, you know.
And Excelgor can't outspeed it because it can run Choice Scarf and Mega Sceptile cannot. So.
Yeah. Choice Scarf Bugbo's final gambit.
Yeah, or just like Focus Sash, and you know.
Yeah.
So.
That too.
Yeah, so we can move up to Gene's team. He can't speak right now, but we can kind of just go over his team without him. We do have his Ottawa Gengars in his roster there. Let's go over why we have him at I think it's number 7 we're at now, right? So he drafted Mega Aggron, and
the fattest Mon in existence.
Pretty much, yeah. I don't think actually anything, barring Mons that have boosted, can actually OHKO Mega Aggron from full. because of his filter ability. Even on the special side, he can take any kind of hit. Even a life orb, modest Nidoking can't Oko him with an Earth Power. So
that's just insanity.
So it does make for a very reliable rock setter. He can also run the rest curse set, which makes it very scary.
He has a ridiculous amount of rock setters on this team. Mm-hmm. He has T-Tar, he has Aggron, Necrozma, Lando I.
Yes. And he also has a lot of power. He has Haxorus, which is just insane. After he gets up a Dragon Dance or even a Swords Dance, pretty much runs house. With him getting Poison Jab for Fairy types as well, that's not a switch in. Like, I remember trying to face Bolus when he had Haxorus last season, and I had Sylveon, and I thought, oh, that's a great counter to Haxorus, but even physically defensive Sylveon does not take a Z move from Haxorus. So I think that's the calc. I have to go over that, but I'm pretty sure.
Haxorus's attack stat is ridiculous. When that thing came out in Gen 5, like nothing. It was OU for a reason.
Mm-hmm. The only issue with Haxorus is that he can't really touch steel types that are neutral to Earthquake. So things like Scizor, he doesn't really get
superpower.
He does get the superpower for sure. But obviously, if you run the like a defensive,
Scizor is still immune to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, not immune, obviously, but neutral.
He's neutral to it. So, like a Mega Scizor. Bronzong, obviously, Haxorus even gets Mold Breaker to hit that thing. So, that's not even really a switch in, but.
Well, looking at his team, he's got, like you said, he's got power. He's got Volcarona. He has Necrozma. Lando I can do some work.
Yeah,
Gengar.
For sure. Because he has
what Gene
sand.
did.
Haxorus. Yeah.
What Gene did is he went through and drafted most of the counters possible to Mega Aggron.
Yeah. He drafted the Volcarona, obviously, that can kind of hit him pretty hard. And then he drafted the Landorus. The Haxorus. Because the Mold Breaker ability breaks the filter, right? So, he did a pretty good job drafting around his Mega Aggron. I do like the Sand core that he was trying to go with as well, because Landorus isn't Sheer Force in this draft. It's only Sand Force, so Landorus's Steel, Rock, and Ground moves get buffed by the Sand, and that makes him a very strong wall breaker, especially if he gets a Rock Polish or Swords Dance up, or even a Calm Mind if he wants to go that route. Gengar as well is a very nice wall breaker, / utility mon, or even just a choice Scarfer if he wants to go that route. I think actually the Gengar is his fastest mon, but with the team that he has, the bulk that he also has, Necrozma, a very bulky mon, and at the same time just a very strong Pokemon. Like, I also don't know if anything Oko's Necrozma. I haven't run any relevant calcs, but Necrozma gets pretty much the same kind of ability that Aggron has, and I don't know if anything can actually Oko him.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I mean, barring like Z moves,
yeah,
like I don't think anything really can.
It's just a ridiculous mon. Like the fact that we also have him in tier 2 is also just like a cheap I really want to try Necrozma at some point. It does seem like one of those Pokemon that if you have them, you have to extensively build for him. Like, you have to prep a lot for that thing, because
because last season I had initially I had Mew, and then when I traded with Beater for Necro, like I immediately fell in love with that one because that thing is so fast that you just nothing really stops it.
I had trouble like just breaking the Necrozma Cell Steeler core that you had, and like I had to bring like choice banded stuff and just very offensive Pokemon, and now Gene has Necrozma and Aggron, which is not as good as Cell Steeler Necrozma. Sorry, did I say I said Necrozma Aggron, right? Yeah, but they do kind of still synergize well together, and they both get rocks as well if they both want to go defensive. Necrozma having the option to set up on both sides with Swords Dance and Calm Mind just makes it a gigantic threat, and you know, I'm glad he has Necrozma plus something like Tyranitar. The only thing I would say is that he could have used maybe a fighting type on this team. Just because dark types, besides the Volcarona, do kind of hinder him somewhat. I understand he has the Comfey, but Comfey doesn't have that immediate power, like until it starts boosting itself. So,
Right.
So yeah.
He does have fighting coverage, but he doesn't have a fighting wand.
Yeah.
So
he does have a lot of fighting coverage. He has you know, Focus Blast on Gengar, Superpower, Focus Blast on Landorus, Necrozma, even Aggron gets Superpower, Haxorus Superpower, Tyranitar.
Yep.
So, but yeah,
he has pretty good hazard removal too.
Yeah,
which you kind of need. Which you kind of need if you draft him something like Volcarona.
The hazard support that he has is very phenomenal. Like he has the Avalugg, the Comfey, the Landorus, the Rotom. They can all defog, which is amazing. Avalugg can spin, and it makes it it supports the Volcarona very well. I'm really curious to see how he plans to use the Volcarona. If he plans to just use it as a strong wall breaker in the beginning of the match, or just a sweeper in the late game. Either way, it's a big threat. He does have a lot of big threats on his team. Even the Tyranitar, we haven't talked about it too much, but that thing in and of itself can be a big threat, especially if it's Rock Polish or Z-Move. Even a Weakness Policy set, I've seen that as well. I think yeah, I think I saw Hunter use that, or Juke, one of the two.
What's his name?
The Weakness Policy Tyranitar.
I never ran Weakness Policy, probably Juke.
I think Juke might have ran that, because I remember the Rock Polish Weakness Policy set, and yeah, it was probably Juke that ran that.
That's a good idea.
I'm just giving my week 1 opponents some more strategies here.
I've already seen his team, don't worry, man.
Yeah, I know. I'm working on trying to break his core down, but, you know, it's a struggle. It's a struggle for sure. The Aggron and the Necrozma.
If I'm honest, I've only seen one of the sets. I didn't look at it too much.
Mm-hmm.